Now 6:03 and turning now to the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. This morning, while so many are dealing with power outages and extensive damage, other families are dealing with the loss of loved ones.
Right now, we know of at least 9 deaths from high water, falling debris, and at least 1 death after a fire that broke out during the storm. Also this morning, we've learned from officials on the Bolivar Peninsula that 1 person died when they lost power. We're told the outage caused that victim's breathing machine to stop working. Now the big question is still, when will the power be back on? We are tracking power outage numbers from CenterPoint, Texas New Mexico Power, and Entergy. Right now, CenterPoint is reporting more than 1.3 million customers in the dark compared to Entergy's more than 168,000 and Texas New Mexico with 64,000. Now, thousands of out-of-town crews have finally arrived here in Harris County to help get the lights back on. This comes as CenterPoint has just 12 hours to follow through on its plan to return power to 1 million people by the end of the day today. And CenterPoint now has a color-coded restoration tracker published on its website. It's meant to help explain the process for restoring power. The orange areas show where CenterPoint is still assessing damage. Blue areas are where crews have been assigned to restore power. And those green zones you see on the map, those are where CenterPoint says that fuse level repairs are complete, but where individual outages may still be happening. However, we've gotten dozens of viewer emails saying this map is still not accurate. 6:04 your time now. In just a few minutes, we will get to ways to stay cool in this heat. But first, new this morning, city leaders in Houston say relief is on the way for city's hospitals.
Yeah, later today, the city will open what's being called Post-Hospital Recovery Center at NRG. City leaders say this is because of a backup of patients in local hospitals. Devon Rahming is live this morning at NRG. And Devon, do we know how many people will be able to stay there?
Good morning, Ron and Steph. Yeah, the city tells us roughly 250 beds will be available here on site later today for any patients newly released from the hospital. Now, it's opening as part of the city's post-hurricane assessment mode. This recovery center will only be used for patients newly released from the hospital, staffed by clinicians, nurses, and paramedics.
We are sending 25 ambulances because we have a backup in our hospitals, because they can't discharge patients, because patients can't go home if they don't have power.
Now, it's important to note that this resource will not be available to every patient being released from the hospital. The site will only be used for patients considered medically fragile who need continued support or supervised care along with electricity. This is all in hopes of freeing up space at city hospitals so new patients can be admitted. Now, officials say this resource will be available to people here in the greater Houston area. Obviously, the patients will need to meet certain criteria, and they also tell us that patients will be thoroughly screened before being admitted. Live in Houston, Devon Rahming, KHOU 11 News.
Thank you, Devon. And now, as we enter a third day with widespread power outages, local leaders are warning that thieves are taking advantage of the outages.
Now, Mayor Whitmire has this message for criminals.
If you're a criminal out there, let me send a message on behalf of everyone that can hear my voice. Don't think about it.
Mayor Whitmire went on to say, do not think about it, that HPD is now fully mobilized and that state troopers have been deployed to Houston to help protect people, businesses, and property. Also today, we will get another update from Acting Governor Dan Patrick and other state and local officials. A reminder that Patrick is leading while Governor Abbott is overseas right now. Today's update on response and recovery efforts will be at 2:45 this afternoon.
Power. Simply power. It's tough sometimes because my daughter gets tired too, and there's not much I can do. So frustrating.
It's very hot inside the house.
We definitely understand how those folks are feeling. That is the feeling for many people across our area. Right now, all eyes are on CenterPoint as more than 1 million people wait for power to be restored.
And right now, there is some relief from the city. This morning, cooling centers are opening all across the area. Maria Aguilera joins us live from the Southwest Multi-Service Center. Maria, what do people need to know before they head to one of these cooling centers?
Yeah, Ron, well, right now this center off of High Star Drive opens at 9 a.m. and still with 3 hours left, some people are beginning to show up. This is just one of several across our area for cooling centers. And the one thing that's important to know is that if you do come, you cannot bring your pets. But if you don't come, there are still some ways that you can try to stay cool at your own home. Now, first, you can go out and get a battery-powered fan. You can use it for air circulation and to keep yourself from getting too hot. Also, make sure to keep your doors closed, close your curtains, cover any windows if you can, and if you have blinds, be sure to close them upwards to prevent any extra heat from getting in. And finally, report your outage. Some utility companies like CenterPoint prioritize restoring power to areas with a high number of outages, so make sure your outage counts. Now again, the center here off High Star Drive opens at 9 this morning. We have a full list of those cooling centers on our website, khou.com. And for many of us still with no power, the latest update from CenterPoint is that they hope to have power restored to 1 million customers by tonight. And we are hoping to, because it is very hot. And for now, I'll toss it to Cheetah.
Yeah, Maria, you're exactly right. The power outage impacts, well, it's now and really to be determined. Just like Maria said, we will see the improvements that they can make today and tomorrow. So the impact is the heat and humidity. Try to limit your outdoor activity. I mean, I know you're trying to clean up around your home and around your neighborhood, but feels like temperatures this afternoon are between 100 to 106. So if you need to seek out those cooling centers, do so. I mean, you can charge your phone, you can bring your family indoors. That's just because of how hot it's going to be. Notice feels like temperatures up to 105 in Katy, 102 in Atascocita, 103 in Sugarland. So another day with this dangerous heat. Let me tell you one other component here for today. The National Weather Service has now issued an air quality alert. That's for Harris, Brazoria, and Galveston County. This is the thing. Oftentimes when we see an abundance of sunshine and calm winds, that can lead to the natural pollution that we put out being pretty stagnant with stagnant air. So Jen, just kind of another component on top of the heat and the humidity. We'll talk about the rain chances coming up in about 10 minutes.
We have been tested enough. I say we passed the test with flying colors. Now enough. All right, 290 at 43rd. We are seeing traffic on the move in and out of Cypress. Again, remember, major problem is going to be those signal lights that are out or flashing, and also still some debris about just getting to the highways. South Loop at South Main, you're good to go as far as traffic right near NRG. Today being Wednesday, July 10th, an update on your HOV and parking rides. They are closed, but many bus routes are back up and running. Metro Lift is running on a normal schedule as well, so happy to report that.